Viruses are everywhere. They're in the air, in the water, and even inside of you right now. They literally surround us all the time. But why do viruses need hosts to survive? And how do they manage to get inside of us? Let's find out. There are lots of reasons why viruses need hosts. First, let's talk about what a virus is. A virus isn't like a little tiny monster that comes out of the toilet to attack you. They take everything they need from their hosts. So if viruses could make their own food and build their own houses, they wouldn't need hosts at all. These cells quickly multiply, hijacking your body's resources and causing inflammation. But you're not completely defenseless against viruses. Your immune system has evolved to recognize and destroy viruses before they can cause disease. Specialized cells called natural killer cells patrol your body looking for infected cells. When they find an infected cell, they release chemicals that destroy the virus and prevent it from spreading. And then they wouldn't be viruses. But scientists think that viruses used to be able to do these things. But don't worry, your body is more than capable of fighting them off. So rest up, drink plenty of fluids, and know that you'll be back to normal in no time. Over millions of years, they lost their ability to make their own food and replicate all by themselves. But that doesn't mean they're not successful. Viruses are one of the most abundant biological entities on Earth, and they infect every living thing. So maybe there's something to be said for being lazy. Scientists also think that viruses used to be cells, but over time they lost their complex cellular structures, making them simpler and more like robots. If you would like to be one of those people, you can go to our support page. It's actually just a protein and genetic material wrapped together and looking like a tiny alien spaceship. Well, because they realize that sticking with a host is an easy way to get all of the supplies they need to survive without having to do anything themselves. In other words, becoming a virus is kind of like quitting your job, selling all of your stuff, moving in with your girlfriend's parents, and living off of their food. Yeah, it's not the most ideal situation, but it works out pretty well for the virus. Some viruses have a protective outer layer, but without a host, the virus can't do anything. It can't reproduce, it can't grow, and it definitely can't find food. Viruses rely entirely on hosts for survival. But why can't viruses just make their own food or build their own houses? You see, viruses are like the ultimate freeloaders. But why did they do this? But how does a virus sneak into its host's body? Well, viruses are sneaky little buggers. They trick their hosts into letting them in. For example, when a virus infects a cell, it might display proteins on its surface that are similar to proteins displayed by the host. This fools the host into thinking that the virus is one of its own cells. Once the virus gets close enough to the host, it releases proteins that break down the host's outer defenses, allowing the virus to slip inside. Then the virus hijacks the host's cellular machinery to make copies of itself. Once the copies are made, they infect other cells and the cycle continues. But sometimes viruses don't even try to hide. When a tick-carrying Lyme disease bacteria bites you, it leaves behind some of its own cells. So the next time you feel like you're getting a cold or the flu, just remember that you're in a battle with tiny alien spaceships that need your cells to survive. So why do viruses need hosts? Well, because they're lazy and they want someone else to do all the work for them. Thanks for watching this episode of SCI Show. And thanks especially to our patrons who help support this channel.